Good day guys, so in today's video I'll be explaining to you why 2% a month is all you need to become rich from trading. So that's the topic of today's video. I'll be showing you the math and I'll be showing you facts, not opinions, actual math and statistics as to why 2% a month as a retail trader is seriously all you need. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So before I even dive into the calculations, I want to clear up a few misconceptions because a lot of retail traders are miseducated as it relates to realistic returns in the markets. So first of all, fact, 90% of retail traders lose money. That is well documented. Of the 10% that do not lose, about 1 to 3% outperform the S&P, and the S&P returns 10% annually. And of the 1 to 3% that outperform the S&P, about 1% make substantial amounts of money from trading. And I consider substantial amount of money from trading over 200k. If you've made over 200k from trading, you have made a lot of money from trading, right? So only about 1% of traders are able to make this return, to make this amount of money from trading over 200k. Understand that if you are making 2% a month from trading, which is more than doubling the S&P 500 returns, understand that you are in the top 0.01% of traders in the world, not in your community, not in your country. The top 0.01% of traders in the world, and that's a fact. That's not an opinion. So 2% a month is seriously good returns. You're in the top percentile of traders. And this is a quote that was made from a very popular retail broker that said, at the retail level, almost no one compounds at 20% a year per year for a decade. So almost no retail trader consistently gets 20% plus return a year for more than a decade. Almost none. And 20% return per year is about 1.5 to 2% return a month. And a retail broker noted that almost no one compounds that amount for more than a decade. So I wanted to clear these misconceptions to say that 2% a month is a lot of money and it is not easy to achieve. So do not for any moment think that getting 2% a month is an easy task. Whatever these gurus tell you or try to sell you, it is not easy to consistently make 2% a month. And if you do, you're the best of the best, the kings of kings and the lords of lords, right? So that's what I wanted to clear there. So 2% a month is not easy, but with trading, you can make someone's monthly salary in just a day, spending only 15 minutes on the charts. So of course, this will not be easy, right? You cannot expect to make someone's monthly salary in a day and expect that doing that it's going to be something that's easy. Obviously, it's very, very difficult. But with the advent of prop firms, this is definitely possible and much more achievable. So in this video, I want to talk about how 2% return a month is all you need, and obviously it's with using prop firms. If you already have a large amount of capital, $500,000 in your own personal capital, like I assume most retail traders don't have that, you don't need to watch this video. But with prop firms, you can get access to that amount of capital. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. And the two prop firms that I recommend, and I'm not affiliated with these prop firms, are FTMO and Axie Select. I recommend Axie because they have been around since 2007. They're a broker and they have the best prop firm model that I've ever come across. It's not even close. Even this video will show you that they have the best prop firm model, and most importantly, they have an amazing scaling plan, because that's what it's all about, scaling, right? FTMO has the conventional prop firm model, which I personally don't like, but they have good history and not much trading rules, and they also have an amazing scaling plan. So this is why I personally use FTMO, and I would recommend FTMO, even though they're a conventional prop firm, which I do not like the conventional prop firm model. So with that being said, let's get into it. And before I do, I'll just spend 30 seconds explaining Axis Select, because I understand that most people don't know Axis. So I'll spend 30 seconds just explaining the model quickly. So essentially, Axis Select, you have your live account where you trade live. So you deposit your $500 and you trade that $500 or $1,000 like your live account. And then you have an allocation account, and then you have the different stages. So you can see that in the seed stage, the minimum deposit that you should have of your live capital is $500, and your allocation account is $5,000. So you have $500 that you're trading, and essentially your prop firm account or your allocation account is $5,000, right? And then you have 20k, then you have 100k, 200k, 500k, and then up to $1 million. So that's just a quick run through of Axis Select prop firm model. It's the best prop firm model, the only prop firm model that makes sense. I'll forever say that until they do something that changes my mind. But yeah, that's Axis Select prop firm model, just a quick run through there. So now we'll be look at a mathematically proven statistic of what your returns could be like if you're a trader that averages 2% a month using both Axis Select and FTMO prop firm models. So I did all the math and calculation, and I'll just be running through you guys with it. So you can see that Axis Select, it's very straightforward, very simple, it's short and it's simple, and this is why I believe that it's the best prop firm. And with FTMO, you can see that it's just a lot more right? There's a lot more things to do, a lot more things to achieve and whatever. So we'll be going through both of these. So achieving 2% a month. So first of all, you start in the seed stage on Axis Select. I forgot to add the seed stage right there, but you start in the seed stage of Axis Select. So I started at the incubation stage. So in the incubation stage, right, this is where you can get your first payout. So in the incubation stage, you start with 20k in max funding. So assuming 2% a month, your profit split will be $640 once you achieve the 7% profit target, right? Because that's I forgot to mention that, but you need 7% to head to the next stage, which I think is personally very lenient, and they'll probably move this up to 10% in the future. So you need 7% to move to the next stage. So if you're getting 2% a month, in about 3 to 4 months, you will achieve that 7%. And on a 20k account, the profit split will equate to about $640, and that is after fees and all that stuff. So with 2% a month, in 4 months, you can make $640 with a 2% a month return. And next you head to the acceleration stage, where you get max funding of 100k, and with the exact same 2% a month, you will get a profit split of $4,000, right? And this is now in 8 months. So it's the same 4 months, you're getting the same 7% return, but you can see that instead of getting $640, you're getting $4,000. So in 8 months, using Axis Select prop firm model, you will get $4,640, and this is again assuming an average return of 2% a month. And next you have the pro stage, which is $200,000 in max funding, and assuming the same 2% a month, your profit split is now $8,000, right? Once you achieve that 7%, you get $8,000 for your profits. And now in 12 months, which is a year, you made $12,640 using the Axis Select prop firm model. And again, this is assuming 2% a month. So with 2% a month in a year, you can achieve $12,640. And once you achieve this, you move to the Pro 500 stage, which you get $500,000 in max allocation. And with 2% a month, your profit split is now $28,000 once you achieve that 7%. So in 16 months, you made $40,000. And once you achieve this, you move to the Pro M stage, which is the final stage. And with the exact same 2% a month, your profit split is now $64,000. So you can see that in the incubation stage, 2% a month, after achieving 7%, your profit split is $640. And with the exact same 2% amount in the Pro M stage, your profit split is $64,000. So 2% amount in 20 months, you can make a total of $104,000 using the Axis Select prop firm model. And once you're in the Pro M stage, there's no more profit target, but just assume that you hit another 7%, which will take another 4 months, right? You will still get the same $64,000 in for your profit split, but this will be in 24 months, which is 2 years. You will make $168,000. So in 2 years, just getting 2% amount with Axis Select prop firm, you can make a total of $168,000, which is just absolutely insane. So that is Axis Select's prop firm model right there. It's very easy, it's very straightforward, there isn't a bunch of rules, and with 2% amount you're good. Now we're going to look at FTMO's prop firm model, which is a lot more complicated and there's a lot more rules. As you can see right here, it's just a longer process, more evaluation. So it's a conventional prop firm model, which I said I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's good to diversify and have different options. So this is why I currently use FTMO, and I think they are a good prop firm, but their model is just, you know, outdated and it just looks poor relative to Axis Select's prop firm model. But FTMO, we're going to assume the same 2% a month, but instead using FTMO's prop firm model. We're going to assume that you start with a 200k account on FTMO. So you need 15% return to pass the challenge and the evaluation phase, right, on FTMO. So assuming 2% a month, this to get this 15% will take you about 8 months, and your profit split is $0 because this is a challenge and evaluation phase. So in 8 months of trading, you'll make $0 in FTMO. While if you look at Axis Select, in 8 months, you're already up $4,640, having the exact same return. So already you can see why Axis Select is better in my opinion. So once you pass your 200k FTMO account, your aim should be to get to prime status, because remember, we're trying to scale here. So you can see that FTMO's scaling plan with the premium program, they have prime status and then supreme status. So once you have a 200k account, you should be aiming for a prime status. So the criteria for a prime status is you must achieve 4 payouts with a minimum 4% profitability, which essentially means that you must request 4 different payouts, and each of those payouts must be at least 4% of your initial balance. So this is a total of 16% return, and assuming 2% return a month, your profit split will be $25,600 once you get these 4 payouts with 4% a month, right? So this is a 16% return, and after profit split on a 200k account, this is $25,600, and this is after 16 months. So in 16 months of trading FTMO, you made $25,600, which, by the way, it is amazing. This is good return to make in 16 months of trading. But in that exact same 16 months, if we go to Axis Select, you can see that you made $40,000. So you made almost double the amount that you made on Axis Select than on FTMO right here. So yeah, so in 16 months you made $25,600, right? And once you achieve this is when you enter prime status. And with prime status, you will get a free 200k account. So you get an account the same size of your current account. So you're using a 200k account already. So you'll get a free 200k account, and your max allocation will increase to 600k. And being that your max allocation is increased to 600k, what it will be smart to do, especially since you're scaling, is you'll purchase a 200k account and you have your free 200k account. So now you have 400k in in challenges from FTMO, and this is from the new 200k that you purchase and the free 200k that you receive, and you still have your 200k funded account. So now you have a total of 600k, but only 200k out of that is funded. And once you have this, your next step is the supreme status. So once you're in the prime stage and you get all of these benefits and so on, you can see that your next stage is the supreme status right here, and this is where things get interesting. So to achieve the supreme status, you need a 12% return, because it says it right here that you must achieve at least 3 rewards and 4% profitability per reward. So essentially it's saying that you should request at least 3 payouts, and each of those payouts must be at least 4% of your account. So that's a total of 12% there to achieve the supreme status. And remember, you have 400k in evaluation and challenges, so you need a 15% return to pass your challenges on FTMO. So you need 12% to get to supreme status, and this is trading your 200k funded. You need a 15% return to pass the 400k in evaluation. So the profit split from 12%, which you're trading on your 200k and you get a 12% return, this is $21,000. And assuming 2% a month, it will take you about 6 months to get this $21,000 right there. And your profit split from the $400,000 in evaluation is $0, right? There's no profit split, and that will take about 8 months. So in 24 months, which is 2 years, getting 2% a month, and scaling using FTMO's premium program, you will make $46,600. And this isn't assuming the money that you spent on evaluations. If I included that, it would be probably about $43,000, right? So you'd make about $43,000 in 2 years with 2% a month from FTMO. And again, that is good. That is seriously good money to make from assuming that you only spend a few $1,000s on challenges. But compared to Axis Select, in the exact same 2 years, you'll make $168,000. So it's almost triple the amount that you make from FTMO. So I hope you guys see why I say Axis Select is way better than FTMO. But now in 2 years, you have $46,000 and you have $600,000 in funding. And being that you got the 12% return, you now have $1 million in max allocation, as the supreme status states. So now what you will do is you have $600,000 in funding and you have $1 million in max allocation. So you will purchase 400k in evaluation to get the $1 million max funding. So now your next step is you're already at the top of the top for FTMO. You have 600k in funding. You are at supreme status. So now your aim is just to get max funded, right? So the first thing that you want to do is pass the evaluation, right, while still trading your 600k. So you need 15% to pass the 400k evaluation, and again that will take about 7 to 8 months, assuming that you're averaging 2% a month. So in about 7 to 8 months, you will pass your 400k evaluation, and because you'll be trading your 600k in funding, you will also get 16% on your funded account. So your profit split from your 600k account is $86,000. So that is a very, very large return right there. $86,000 from your 600k in funding, and your profit split from your 400k eval is $0, obviously. But now you can see that the payouts are getting a lot bigger. So in 32 months, and all of this right here, by the way, is 32 months. So in 32 months, using FTMO's prop firm, getting 2% a month, you can get you can make $133,000. And again, this is assuming that you make 2% a month, and also it does not consider the money that you spent on eval. So if we consider this, we'll just bring it down to about 128, 127. So in 32 months, you can make about $127,000 from FTMO with 2% a month, and you also now have $1 million in funding. So in 2 years and 8 months, you make around $133,000 from FTMO. while in 2 years on Axis Select you make about $168,000. So you can see that this is essentially the process here, with 2% a month and scaling with both Axis Select and FTMO. For Axis Select, actually I think it's about 2 years and 4 months, because I did not include the seed stage in this right here, so I forgot to add the seed stage. So with Axis Select, sorry, it's 2 years and 4 months to get max allocated, and you will make 168,000 by then. And with FTMO, it's 2 years and 8 months, and you will make around $133,000 by then. So again, this is 2% a month, guys. This is it any crazy 2% a day, 50% a month. Like, you don't need all that unrealistic stuff. So with 2% a month, you can make a total of $301,000 in 2 years and 8 months using Axis Select and FTMO. Let me repeat that. With 2% a month, you can make a total of $301,000 in 2 years and 8 months using Axis Select and FTMO. Guys, most people throughout their lifetime do not make $301,000, and you are making that in 2 years and 8 months with Axis Select and FTMO, and all you're getting is 2% a month. I shouldn't even say all you're getting, as if 2% a month is easy, right? But it's for people who believe that 2% a month is not a lot and you cannot get rich from 2% a month, right? You can make $300,000 in 2 years and 8 months. And if you continue at your 2% a month on both accounts, you can make, because now you have $2 million in funding, $1 million from Axis Select and $1 million from FTMO. So with 2% a month on both accounts, you can make $408,000 in a year, right? So in a year, 2% a month on $2 million FTMO and Axis Select, you will make almost $500,000. Guys, if you're making this much money from trading, you are literally in the top 1%. And this is with 2% a month. And this would carry the total you made to well over $700,000, right? So this is crazy money right here. I just wanted to show you guys the math and the statistic. And this, again, is not opinion, is literally the exact math, what you can expect and so on with 2% a month. So in about 4 years, you can make $700,000 if you have the ability to make 2% a month. So after seeing this, I want you guys to ask yourself, how much money have I been making on average a month trading, right? If you see that for the past year, you've averaged about 2% a month, this is the path you should be taking. If you want to get rich from trading, this is the path you should be taking. I think this is the best path that you should take, and I would recommend just having like a Google spreadsheet where you have your returns and so forth. So you can see that my average monthly return in the past 8 months is 2.42%. So I am averaging about 2.5%, and this is largely skewed by Axie, because I've had some crazy returns on Axis Select. So it's Axis Select has majorly skewed this. You can see that my average monthly return on Axis Select is 2.1%, and here's my monthly return. So you can see that most of my returns are I get about 1% a month. I have these amazing months where I make like 5%, 6%, and I made 9% here. So I know my average monthly return. So in the back of my mind, I'm looking at stuff like this, but realistically for me, this is not the path that I would take. I just wanted to show you guys this, and the reason why I would not take this path is the more funding I get, the more I reduce risk. So I definitely will not be aiming for 2% a month when I have $1 million in funding, because there's just no reason to take on that much risk when I can make a lot of money with a lot less risk, right? So if I have $2 million in funding, $1 million from Axie and $1 million from FTMO, I'm aiming for about 0.6% a month or less than 1% a month. Because look at this, on a $2 million account, times, if you're getting 1% a month, right? This is 0.01%. You're making 20k a month, and after a profit split, let's say about 0.85 halfway, so you get an 85% profit split. You're getting you're making $17,000 when your account is up 1%. So are you content with making 17k a month? If you are, you don't need more than 1% a month, right? And I am. So the larger my account gets is the more I will reduce risk. So for me, even though I currently have 2.5% return a month, I know that the larger my account get is the more that return per month will fall, because there will just be no reason for me to aim for a 2.5% return a month, because on a $2 million account, as you can see here, 1% is $17,000, and I am content with making 17k a month, right? So there's no reason to take on that risk right there. But this is just an outline I wanted to show people so they can understand that 2% a month is just absolutely crazy and astronomical returns. And if you can achieve that, if you have been tracking your monthly returns like myself and you know how much you make a month, understand that you can make some substantial amount of money. So yeah, that's the video. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Peace and trade safe.